Welcome all to the session 3 of Introduction to React Library organized by the Computer Society of the University of Jaffna. Uh, Today we are delving into React Router and the basics of Redux. We'll learn how to navigate through React applications smoothly with React Router and then explore the fundamentals of Redux, including the store, actions, action creators, selectors, and reducers. Get ready for an exciting session of learning and building. Let's make this Friday productive and fun. I'll hand it over to our speaker, Ms. Thanaruby now. Thank you.
Thank you, Varsha, and good evening all. So we are going to look into React Router first. So before that, in the last session we had an issue. Our prettier was not working. Did anybody face the same issue? And did anybody found a solution? Can I get some answers? Okay, I actually Googled and got the answer. So if we go to settings and here there is default. There is a setting for default formatter. Just selected prettier. So now the prettier is working on controllers. So we'll go to React routers. You can get get to know all about React in there. We are just going, but it's not. So first we need to install it and import, create browser router and router provider from React router DOM. I'll install it first. So to install, I'm going to use yarn add React router DOM. This will add this package to our package.json and also node modules. So it's done. I'm going to start the project now. And start. So project is started and I'm going to import these two from React router DOM. What we are now going to do is say, initially when we are looking into the concept of React, we learned that React can load the pages dynamically without refreshers. When we go to another page in HTML or some other language, what we normally do is in HTML, we use anchor tags like ahref and click on it, and it will refresh the page and go to another page. But here in Redux, we look that we can load it dynamically. So for that, this React root DOM helps us. So say we have two pages called home page and about us page. So let me create those two pages. Last time we created a contact form. So I'm going to use this as my contact us page. And I'm just going to print welcome in my home page. So I'm going to create my home page here. Home. equals return welcome. This is my home page. So I'm going to create a router for these two pages. For that, we can find the base code here. This is how we use our router. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it there and see what we can do with this. So I'm going to paste the router here. And okay. So I have imported create browser router from our library. So here I'm going to give all my paths and the component for that page in an array like this in create browser router. So what I am going to do now is I have a home page. It is we don't have to give any other path URL for that. I'm just going to use the same URL as my home page. So for the element, I can give some JSX code, or else I can give another component. I'm going to give my home page here, home component here. I have to use like this. So I have created a root for my home page, and I'm going to create another root for my contact us page. So I'm going to give contact us, and I'm going to use my not here, so I have to import it. It from contact form. So I have given my roots. What this will do is when I am going to just slash, it will give the home page. If I go to slash contact us, then this will give me my contact form, but nothing is visible now. So we'll check. I have some, this should work. I have a little issue here. Cannot access home before. Okay. I have used home here, but I have declared it down. That is the issue. So, okay. So my contact us form is appearing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create links for home and my contact us page. What this root provider does is the page, if I give any other code outside this router provider, that will be common in all the pages. Say I'm giving text here. So this text will appear in home page and also our contact us page, because the route is happening within this component. The outer JSX elements will appear in both all the routes within this. So this test text is coming here, and also it will come here too. So now what I am going to do is I am going to create links. I'll give some JSX elements, div. So I'm going to create a href and slash and home just to make it neat. I'm using some divs and contact us, contact us. I'm going to just give a background color for this my navigation. So style, I'm going to use inside style. So background color, and I'm going to give hash 333. Okay, so this have created my navigation. Now when I click on home page, it goes to home page, and when I click on contact us page, it comes to contact us page. But what happens is you can see this refreshes my page. When I click on it, this refreshes and it actually calls another page because I have used a href anchor tag for this link. For this, our React router DOM gives us another another variable called method called link, L-I-N-K. If we use this instead of anchor tag, our page will not refresh, but it will dynamically load. So I'm going to use link, link 2, I have to use. Link and 2. There are some errors. Okay, closing tag. Okay. Still there are some errors. Link it. Okay, I'm not using href. I'll check again. Yeah. Not using href. Still it gives the same error. So I'm going to refresh. Link with ref. The error is happening because I can't use the link outside my router. This link can be used only inside the router provider. Because this is outside my router provider, it gives me error. So what I have to do is, all I can do is, I can use it inside my home page or contact form page, contact us page. What to do if I have to use this outside my page, which is a common component, which we don't need to load every time we go to another page. Here in this case, navigation is a command component, so we don't need to load it even dynamically when I am going to the contact us page. So our React root DOM gives another method called outlet. Okay. We'll see how to use this outlet method. We can use parent and child components here. So this is our one root. Inside this, I can use children. If we go here and this is how we use children method, children's. Let's see how that helps us. So let me just remove home from here, and I'm just going to give welcome text in my element here. So, and as children, I'm going to give home and contact us. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So this is my base component now, which has a text welcome, and I have home and contact us page as children's to my base path. So now what I am going to do is I'm going to remove this because this will give me error. So I'm just going to comment this out and check how this is going to work. So if I go here, this is my home page. So it gives welcome because I have given this element here. Okay, but it should give me okay, my children components are not working because as I can see, only this welcome is printed. But when I am going to contact form page, my contact form page is not there. And also in my home page, there is another welcome. There should be two welcome. So that is also not there. Why is that? We have imported this outlet from React rooted on. So we have to use this outlet. Why this is used is, say, when I am going to this page, this element is only going to print out, and where we have to specify where our children's should be visible. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another div and give outlet here inside this div. What happens here is this is going to take my children pages and print inside this div as outlet. So when I go to contact us page, my contact us page is going to come here, and home page is going to come here. So there is some error here. So we look into this. Okay. Still my children are not visible. I'm going to check here what is happening. So children, path and element, path and element. Okay. Element is okay. So it should be okay. And my outlet sorry. So I have to use outlet like this, not like a variable. Outlet is the component. So to print this component, I have to use outlet like a component, not like a variable. So now I'm getting my to welcome in my home page and in my contact us page. I'm getting welcome and also my contact us form. So this is the common component which is visible to all the pages, and my children's will be printed in this outlet. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my navigation inside my command component instead of welcome. So I'm going to cut this and paste it here and uncomment it. So my navigation is going to appear in all the pages. So now if you look into it, when I click on it, you can see my browser is not refreshed. When I'm going to home page, it's not refreshed. Contact us page, it's not refreshed. This component is not changed, but only my this part of this page is changing. I can check that by doing a console log inside this element. So if I am using an element inside this, say I'm going to create another component here that is a common component, and what I'm going to do is I'm not going to print anything but console.log command component. So I'm going to add this component to my command element section. So yeah, when I'm loading it first time, it is loaded. When I'm going to home page and contact us page, the log is not there because it is not loaded again. It's just loaded only one time. So I can go to pages like this. So that is the basics of React Router. We can add more pages and also say I have we are going to do a to-do app. So say I have a list of to-dos, and I'm clicking on one to-do and going to the details of that to-do item. In that case, how my URL will appear. Say, I'm just going to print out, list out some to-dos here or some in my home page. So what I'm going to do is div, I'm going to add one here and 2, 3, 4. Now what I'm going to do is when I'm clicking on this each item, I'm going to open a page where I can see the details of the specific item. So here what I am going to do is I'm going to add link, and I'm going to create another page in the URL like I'll add the URL here. to do details, and to get the details of the specific to do, I'm going to add the ID of this. So my URL will be like, if I enter to do details /1, I'm going to get the details of the to do item which has ID 1. So how I can do that? I can't create each and every route for each and every items. So what I can do is I can create something like this. I can put colon and ID. What this will do is, for ID, if I if I used a colon, I can enter any element for this. Say if I enter the URL to do details /111, then it will go to this specific component. So I'm going to create another component for to do details and try to go to that specific page. So this is my home page now, and I'm going to create another const to do details equals to okay. I'm going to return I'm just going to return the text details for now, just for demo purpose, and we'll look into how to manipulate that in few more moments. So to do details, I'm going to add this component here. So when I am going to this URL, this page will be, this component will be visible for me with this navigation, command navigation. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use link. Okay, link to link to. I'm going to use that URL I specified. So here, and I'm going to use one here. I'm going to copy the same thing and close the link tags and edit it. So if I go to home page now, I should have a list now. So here when I'm clicking on one, I'll go to do details, which has the ID 1. So to do details 1, so it is coming to details page. So this is how we are using IDs in the URL. And okay, I have used the to-do detail ID in the URL, but how to get the ID to my page? For that, our React Router DOM has two hooks. It's giving us two hooks called use param and use location. So what I'm going to do is I have this page now, details page now. I'm going to get use params from React Router DOM. and use the use param hook inside to do details. So const id equals use params. I have to pass a text here. The text should be the one exactly as I used it here. I have used ID here, so I'm using the text ID here. Say if I use to do ID, then I have to use the same name here. So this is how I can get the URL value. And now I can use this ID inside my page. So I'm going to use it, details, colon, I'm going to use ID. So we'll check, there is some error, unexpected application error, objects are not valid. Okay. Use params is an object, it says it's an object. So I can't print out, I'm straightly printing it out. So I can't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to console log it. Optional in my laptop. So I'm going to check this ID in my console. So here, I'm getting these values inside this object. So how I can use the ID here is I can use ID and to do ID. So I have printed out the value in my page. So that is one way. And also I can get the URL from use location. So I'm going to use location and I'm going to use const location equals use location. So what this will give me is the whole URL that is to do details /1. Say if I'm printing some slash something extra, it will give me the whole URL. So here what happens is I'll remove all these things. I'm going to print out my location. I'm going to log my location. So this is my location detail. Inside my location detail, I can see this path name. Path name is to do details /1 is my path. So if I want to get every single element, what I can do is I can split this. So location const, I'll introduce an array variable called split location. And location dot path name dot split okay. This will give me an array. So I'm going to print this array. Okay. So From here also we can get our ID. This is an array that contains 3 elements, our page name and the ID of our to-do details. So this is another way to get the ID. So okay, so this split is a string function in JavaScript. Say when we have a string like to-do details /1, but we are telling here is split where the slash is. So all the string will be separated into a single variable, and it will give it as an array. So that is split. So that's all about React routers. We have a lot of concept in React routers, but for us, it is not much needed. So we'll start looking into React Redux. Anybody have any question about React routers? You can ask. Someone has asked, Vithan, is there any way to pass the ID without showing in the URL like post method? Yes, that is what we are going to learn next. It's not post, but it is Redux. We can store variables in Redux and get it in another page. When Redux will be cleared is when we refresh the page only, our Redux state will be cleared. So Redux helps us a lot to store common variable in a common place. So we'll look. We already have seen how to pass variable from one component to another component. We can pass from properties. Say, I'm going to use this common component in this element. What I can do is I can pass some properties like, say, test equals test, and I can get that property here and log it or print it here. We can pass variable from component to component like this from with the help of property. But say our application is really big. For example, we have a company app. So our company app has multiple component. Say a component called company component and another component called employees or department, and another component called employees, and another component called employee personal details. So these components will have their own properties and states, but say we want to access employee personal details state from company component. In that case, what we can do is we have to move the state to the company component, and from there we have to pass that state as a property through all the components. That means it will pass through a lot of components that will not make our code very clean. To solve this issue only, we have something called common state. So React Redux is a common state that helps us to manage the state. So how React Redux works is that state is totally outside outside our whole project. So that is, our state is going to reside somewhere here. I'll read Redux. So what we can do is we can manipulate from each of the component from here to here very easily. We can get the variable and set the variable from each of the component very easily, or else if I have to manipulate the state which is inside company component, I have to pass it through all the parent and child components and come to these personal details. So that is why we have Redux. It may be not very clear for you guys now. I'm going to go through the concept today. We'll see how this is done in the next session. So this Redux has 5 concepts. We'll look into each of them. Action creator, reducer, selector, and store. So we actually have to install this Redux and React Redux. Redux is something that is common to all JavaScript libraries, not just React. So with the Redux, we also have to install React Redux. So we'll look into each of this concept. It may be not really clear why this is like this, but you don't really need to understand anything here. You just want to know this. When you are doing the code, you'll understand how it helps us to solve our issues. So action is something that is written like it's an object that has a type variable, and that is a text. What this type is going to tell us is, say in our company project, we want to I want to add an employee. So what my action is going to do is, action describes what I want to do. So I'm going to give add, it is just a string, add employee. This just describes what I want to do. It's named as type. It always should be inside the action object. And also we can add more variables to this object. Say I want to add employee ID. One. So this is my action. And action creator. Action creator is a function that accepts that actually tells the reducer what to do. So give me a second. I'll name it test action create. It is a function that accepts something called dispatch. I'll explain you what is that in some moment. Dispatch and inside this dispatch, we are going to give our action. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So this is our action creator. This is going to accept something called dispatch, and it is going to use that dispatch, and dispatch will have one property, that is our action. So this is action and this is action creator. You don't really need to understand what are these things, but this is how it is done. We'll look how to use in the next session. So reducer. Reducer is a function that accepts current state and action and gives us the new state. So that is going to look like something like this. Test reducer equals current state and action, and it is going to give us the new state. We'll look how to write the code inside the reducer in the next session. Okay, and selectors, that is a function that accepts the current state and give us whatever the state we need. For example, say in our project, our current state has employee details and also department details. So for example, let's take our current state is going to look like this. Const current state equals imp details is going to be okay, imp all imp details, all imp details. It's going to be an array of all employee details, and department details, and some state is going to reside here. So this is how our current state is going to be. So this our reducer function is going to accept the current state and action. This is our action. It's going to accept our action as the second parameter and give us the new state. And selectors. This function is going to accept the state and give us whatever our requirement. For example, const test selector is going to accept the current state, and state dot our state has mdetails dot all employee details dot. Okay, if I give like this is going to return me all employee details and store. So this store is going to contain all our state. For that, our Redux library gives us something called configure store. With that, we are going to create a store and give that to my application so that I can use my state. So those are the concept. It will be not clear for now, but when we are doing the code, you will understand. So React Redux, why we are using it? It's a helper to connect React and Redux, because Redux is common library for all JavaScript languages and libraries like Vue or Angular. For everything, we can use this Redux. This is something connects React and Redux. So we have to install that library to use this state management in our project. So, and also this React Redux gives us some very useful hooks and methods to use. So one of that is use selector, use dispatch, and also config store. Store. Why this config store is used is to create our store. Like const store equals config store, and we'll pass our reducer inside this config store. Reducer, I'm going to pass this test reducer. So this is how the store is created. And then this React Redux also gives us something called provider. We'll import provider from React Redux, and we will wrap our application with the provider. Like say I want to use the Redux in whole my app throughout whole application, then I'll use the provider like this. Sorry. I'll wrap the whole application with provider, and then I can use React Redux in my components. I'll remove it because I don't have provider now. I didn't install the library yet. So that is config store. What is use selector? We looked into selector function, how the selector function will look like. What use selector does is, we can use this hook inside our component, like when this is our component, I can, if I want to get the employee details, what I will do is const emp details equals to use selector. Inside this use selector, I'm going to pass the selector function. I have this selector function which returns employee details for me. So I'm going to pass this selector function inside use selector. This gives me error because I don't have any of those selector function or anything in my code. So yeah, if I have all those code, then it will give me employee details. Like this, I can get details from the store, from the React Redux state, and use it here. Say I want to manipulate that store. Say I want to add one employee to that store. In that case, I can use dispatch. How that is used is, I'll call the function first, const dispatch equals use dispatch, and what I will do is, I'll use the action creator inside that. I have an action creator here which accepts dispatch and tells the reducer to add employee. So I'll pass that function inside this. So we'll look into it again, the concepts. Action just describes what I want to do. So that has a variable called type that tells me add employee. Action creator is a function that accepts a dispatch and tells the reducer to add an employee. So this reducer will work on it. It will handle how to reduce an employee from our state. This is, if this is our state, we have some details inside this add employee. Say I have emp id1 is an array, and I'm going to, I have 3 employees here. So I want to remove the employee which has emp id1. Then I can, this action creator can tell the reducer to reduce one, the employee which has emp id1 to be removed. So the reducer will handle it. Reducer will handle how to remove that employee from my state. And selectors will help, selector function will help us to get some details from my state. So those are the base concepts of React Redux, the state management. We'll look into how to code next session. Yeah, I think that answers your question, Vitahan. This is how we can pass details from one component to another component. We have a common store, and we get and set from that command store. So we don't really need to pass it, but we can use such a store, outside store, which is outside our component. Um, so yeah, those are the concept of React Redux. We will bind our session with this for today, and we'll continue it in the next session. So thank you, and over to you, Varsha.
Thank you, Ms. Thanaruby, for your time and for this wonderful session. So to the participants, we request you to try out this and practice before you all come for the session tomorrow. So the update is there. We have an announcement that we have shifted the Sunday 9 a.m. session to Saturday 7 p.m. session. So we'll be meeting tomorrow at 7 p.m. Okay. So thanks for joining with us. Let's meet tomorrow then. Have a nice day. Bye. Good night.
Good night.